Hi everyone, Jacob from Initiative Tabletop here, and I've got a new review for you today. This is a rather interesting game. It's one that, when I heard the name, I had to think, what? Okay, what is this? And it is called Scrumbrawl. Scrumbrawl is a game set in a fantasy universe where you are controlling and manipulating all of these magical beings, throwing them onto this field, this sports arena, have you, and having them run these balls into these portals and trying not to get killed by all the opposing members. It's a game for 2 to 4 players. It takes roughly an hour to play. So let's take a look at what's inside. So this is the setup for Scrumbrawl. As you can see, you have your creature cards right here, and then they each come in their own different color, different stack, and each one's different. This is your orbs, and each one of these is different. You have things that range all the way from a killer orb that you can use as a weapon to your standard leather orb, kind of like a football. And these are your orb tokens. Each one of these has a picture depicting which one it is, and they match the ones on the card. Like there's your killer orb again. These are your portals, and these are what you have to take the orbs to. And then these are your scoring chips. The blue are for whenever you get an orb into a portal, and the red is what's known as a skin one. So for every 3 of the opponents that you kill, you get one of these little red tokens. This is your deck of cards, and it's got your creatures in there, along with all their stats. It has team enchantments that work in general, and it also has events that can happen during the game. Comes with 4 d20s and 2 d8s and different little bases in 4 different colors: red, blue, black, and white. You're going to take 2 of the d20s, one red and one blue, and you're going to roll them. And whatever they say is where you're going to place the orb. I've rolled a red 7, which is right here, and a blue 18, which is right here. So that's one of the orbs, and then I'll do it again. So, for example, if I rolled a 15 on the blue, which is this grid right here, and then a 19 on the red, which is this grid right here, and by the way, the other side has the same thing, blue and blue, red and red, then I would just look for 15 and 19, which is right here, and place the next portal. Then the same goes for the ball. So first, before you roll for the ball, you take this stack, you give it a little good shuffle, and then flip. Oh no! We have the killer orb. The orb that becomes a weapon. So, you find the token in here, you take the dice, roll it again, and we got 20 and 10. Oh, that orb is already really close to where it needs to be. After this is done, each player then gets a hand of 4 cards. If you get any of the instance effects or anything like that, the events, those get put back. And then, play begins. You pick the first player, started by a random roll, and what usually happens on the first turn, after looking at your hand, you'll take a creature from there. Like, here I've got the Sphinx, and I want to cast her, so I'll put her down here. And I have the Lich. I want to cast him, so I'll put him right down here as well. Now on each of these cards, as you can see right here, you have different stats. These are for throwing, catching, your range, how fast you can move, how many attacks you have, what your attack value is, and your defense value. And then at the bottom here, you'll have some text telling you if you're flying, if you can do a range attack, anything like that. And placing your characters goes a lot the same way as placing the orbs and the portals. So what you do, you take one of these cards, like the Sphinx right here, put it in a base, and let's go ahead and do that for the Lich. Take the dice and roll it. So, this one is going to go right here. And then, let's say I rolled another 12 and 15. So right here. 12 on the blue, 15 on the red. Then, if you have any enchantments,
Like I've got one right here, Favor of the Gods. This is a team enchantment. I can play it. This gives me a bonus to all my abilities for my creatures. Or, not necessarily all, but some might give it to attack, some might to defense, things like that. The last card I've got in my hand is something I can use to modify die rolls. Like this one, I can modify it by 2. Anytime you place a creature, that's all you can do with that creature for the rest of this turn. So these 2 I placed, they aren't going to be able to do anything else, so my turn's over. Then my opponent will do the same thing, and they'll roll, and they placed a Yeti, like right here, and a little pixie right there. Then, when it comes back to your turn, you refill your hand. Oh, I got an instant event. This is one of the times that the D8s come into play. Like in this event, it gives me a bunch of different options, all the way from 1 to 8. I'll roll this, and then whatever it hits, it does that effect. Like I rolled a 3, so a tornado for each creature, portal, and orb in play. I roll, and on a 1 through 4, it destroys it. So I could lose a lot of things right here. Oh, no! Starting with the pixie, it dies. And then so on and so forth until this whole effect has been done. Whenever you draw an instant event, after you get done with it, you'll still draw back up to 4 cards. And then, as the game goes on, things will move around out here. Like the Yeti might run up here, try to get the ball. Whenever a creature gets into a space with an orb, it has to try to pick it up. So, what you do, you take the token like that, and slap it right into the base. So now he's carrying it. And then, whenever it gets to the point that you can either run them, if you can run them into here, like this portal, that's how you score. And that's how you get one of the blue chips. And then, after scoring, a new orb is placed. The portal that you used goes away. You want to be careful around these portals, though. Because if you can move a creature straight into one, which rips them to shreds. Also, your creatures will die a lot in this game, by the way. You can attack creatures, which when you go up, you'll look at their attack and defensive stats. Like the Yeti here is not... He's a good, strong guy. And my Sphinx, who's getting ready to attack him, is good and strong in attack. So it's pretty much down to a die roll. And then what happens is both of them, the attacker and the defender, will roll a d20, and then whoever gets the higher roll wins. Most of the time, as soon as one creature does damage to another, it'll instantly kill it. A few things will protect it, enchantments, personal abilities, things like that. Whenever you want to place another creature, like let's say I lost my Lich, and oh no, I need somebody new. So I bring out another card, and I'm able to bring out the Ghost. Well, I go and I roll, and if I happen to roll like exactly where a creature already is, like the poor Yeti here at 10 on the red and 16 on the blue, if I roll that, oh no, splat! He's instantly killed. Whenever you kill an enemy in this way, you don't get what's known as the skin token. Normally when you kill an enemy, you keep their card, and then once you've killed 3 of them, you get one of these. Well, you need 3 tokens to win. One has to be one of the blue tokens. So, this is a quick and dirty way to do it. Also, you have to be very careful whenever you have to place a new portal. If a portal lands on top of if a portal lands on top of one of your creatures, it'll rip it to shreds, throwing it back into the ether. And that's pretty much the game. What happens is you just go and play until someone has 3 points, one of which has to be one of the blue scoring tokens, which means you got one of the orbs into the portal. So you can have one of that and have killed 6 of your enemies to get 2 of the red tokens or 2 of the skins. And once you do that, you win.
And that's Scrumbrawl. You can see it's a sports game. It has definitely that feel, kind of like if you play games like Dreadball or anything like that. It has definitely that fantasy, that sports, let's get the ball in the portal feel. My only complaint about the game is some of the tokens are really thin, which really isn't too much of a complaint because they have to fit in the bases, especially like the balls. But it's the scoring ones, because once you get them on the table, they can be kind of hard to pick up. But other than that, it's actually a really fun game. I would give it probably about a 7 out of 10. It's pretty well constructed, very well thought out, and really between the 2 to 4 players, there's not any difference. The only difference if you have more players is you're going to have more creatures out on the field. So a little more carnage and a bigger game. And that is Scrumbrawl. So keep paying attention to Initiative Tabletop. We've got some more stuff coming up soon, and may the dice roll in your favor.